Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another Sunday conversation every Sunday. We are here at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to talk about all of the amazing things that impact our community. Sometimes it's the wildest conversation. Sometimes it's about relationships. And today, that's the conversation we're having the next 3 weeks of this month of July. We are talking about relationships because relationships in the Black community is something that needs to be healed, brought together. It is the number one topic across all social media platforms, all the podcasts. Everybody is trying to figure out what's going on with Black love. What's going on with men and women? Is there a gender war? I don't know. We're going to figure it out today for all of the community folk that are watching. If this is your first time tuning in, you could go to our YouTube. You could go to the live chat, put questions and comments in there. If you want to give smoke, you could do that too. We accept all of it here at both sides of the conversation. You can watch on our Facebook page and our Facebook group. I already see the comments coming in. They're going to be starting today. It's going to be fun. I don't know what's going on. My Wi-Fi is a little spotty today. I guess they know we're going to be going a little haywire today, so they're trying to mute me through my internet. But we are happy to be here as we kicking off this week. We talked about all of the tragic stuff that's been going on in the community, and we are just not moving forward when it comes to community violence. Another shooting, another few shootings last night. We got some work to do in our community. I think maybe if we fix love, okay, maybe some of the man egos and some of this tension in our community will go away. Ladies, we holding you responsible. Show some love so the fellas can calm down and release some of that aggression. I don't know. Let me stop. But that's what it's all about. But we're going to have a great conversation today. This is the kickoff of our relationship conversation. Today, we're talking about the pet peeves and relationships. I think it's very important to find out what rattles women cages, what rattles man cages, some of the things you don't like. I don't know. We're just going to figure it out today. And we're going to turn this conversation a couple of ways. But that's kind of gist of what it is, because I know a lot of times the lady said, the guys just don't understand it. This is what we don't like. I don't know. We'll figure it out today. But with that being said, we have our phenomenal team that is here, the co-hosts. So we're going to start off and say, Charisma, welcome back. Talk to the people. How you doing? Holla at the people today.
Hey everybody, just here Sunday. It's a pretty foggy day over here on the peninsula, but we're making it shine with our energy, and I'm looking forward to talking to all of you guys today. And thank you for having me and being a part of the team. Let's do it.
Thank you for being here. And we know Charisma is going to relight the 4th of July today, fellas. But be ready. She's going to let off some fireworks today. I know it. All right. The voice, my brother Mark. How you doing today, Mark?
Man, I'm doing absolutely fantastic, Bishop. Definitely looking forward to this conversation. Hopefully we can get some understanding and put some women in their place.
It's going to start off great. With that being said, my co-host, Miss Ayo, the voice, the daughter, the thinker. I don't know. Everybody's talking about Ayo is the one we need to really listen to today. She has the voice of reason. Ayo, how at the people?
He started already. Come on, fireworks. Let's get it on. You know what? Just really excited about being here today. So happy to have Charisma here. Girl power. And also, this is going to be an exciting series. We've already been getting great feedback. Mark kicked it off for us on Thursday with Educational Thursday. Great presentation. I want to give my hats off to you again for that. Also, we are going to do some unlearning this series. Some unlearning. And not unpacking, but we're going to do some unlearning, both men and female, okay? Male and female, unlearning some things, okay? So really excited to get it going tonight. You guys have a good one.
After tonight, fellas, there will be more women getting on their knees, asking you to marry them. Let me stop. Okay, let me stop. All right, we gonna get this started. With that being said, I'm gonna shut up already. Okay, I'm already starting. Let's go ahead and jump into the community news, into the events of the community.
All right, going into the world news. Our first headline reads, San Francisco blast homeless advocates accusing city of illegal sweeps. The city of San Francisco fired back this week against accusations from advocates for the homeless that it has continued to conduct large-scale sweeps of people living in street encampments and failed to provide them with immediate shelter in violation of an injunction from a federal magistrate. Also, Amid San Francisco homeless crisis, shelter waiting system finally reopens. San Francisco has reopened a waiting list for people to enter homeless shelters after going 3 years without a centralized mechanism for unhoused people to find a bed on their own accord. A new dashboard, hosted by the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing, allows people to make a reservation for one of the city's shelter beds. Also, after state farms and all states exits, Farmers Insurance sets limits in California. State Farm announced on May 26 that it would not be taking on new business in California. Shortly thereafter, the San Francisco Chronicle reported that another major player, Allstate, had done the same. Earlier this year, Farmers Insurance, the second largest provider, limited new business on its main residential policies, according to a rate filing with the state regulator. Another headline: public meetings across Bay Area are being Zoom bombed with hate speech, and no one knows how to stop it. Local governments began using Zoom to sustain participation in public meetings during the pandemic. And 3 years later, the vital tech is still improving resident access around the Bay Area. But it's also become a way for bigots and trolls to interject anonymous, racist, and homophobic messages into city proceedings. Another headline reads: 32 arrests, 81 citations during Dolores Hill bomb, San Francisco police say. The San Francisco police shut down a skateboarding event, arrested 32 adults, and cited 81 minors in the Mission District on Saturday. Officers described the event as unpermitted, non sanctioned, and one that had previously taken over streets and caused property damage. And our final headline reads: a cache of weapons found after deadly shooting by Richmond police. Richmond police released body camera video Friday showing what led up to a deadly confrontation in Point Richmond. Video from June 28th shooting shows police barging into a room at a home on Sandling Island Drive, where they opened fire within seconds, killing Kevin McDonald, age 66, and subsequently found 53 guns, including 23 pistols, 20 rifles, 8 revolvers, and 2 shotguns, police said. And that will do it for the news. I'll turn it over to you for community events.
Wow. Real quick, I just want to say this because we got some real serious stuff. I know this month we are dealing with the relationship conversation. We're not going to switch up the schedule. But I got word. We got a lot of problems in the community that we got to deal with, especially in San Francisco and District 10. Okay. Every bank in District 10 is closing at the end of this month. Tragic for our community. We got some real conversation. Businesses are leaving the city. This is going to impact our Black community heavily. All right. There's a lot of things going on. Community, we got to get involved. All right. Our elders need access to funding, but there's a lot of changes happening, and we're going to have to come together and rally. So I want to put that out there. We're going to be taking the lead, working with some of our community partners to find out what we could do. But we got some work to do with some very, very disheartening information that's coming out. What's going on in our Black communities here in the city, and community, we got to come together. We've been talking about this on both sides of the conversation, bringing this awareness and education to community about finances, where we need to be as a community, ownership. These things that I've been talking about, these things we've been presenting to the community is why we've been presenting this stuff. So we got some things that we got to start dealing with, and our community is going to have to get involved if we want to see change in our community. So I'll pass over to you, Ayo. But we'll be having some conversations coming up in August about some of the things that's taking place that's impacting our city.
This summer marks the 4th annual anniversary of Museums for All, brought to you by the San Francisco Financial Justice Project, offering free and or $3 admissions to 22 museums and cultural institutions all summer long for low-income San Franciscans. Destined for Greatness, Transitional Age Youth Graduation Ceremony. Please come out and show support this Monday, July 10th, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at River of Life Church, 1430 Sunnydale Avenue in San Francisco, as they celebrate young Black men and women stepping into their greatness, with keynote speaker Uncle Damien, sponsored by Dream Keepers Initiative. Food will be served. There is a current opening for a health worker position. This includes a position with Health Disparities Program, working primarily in the Mission Excelsior OMI neighborhoods in San Francisco. Spanish language strongly advised. It is open now, scheduled to close tomorrow, 7/10/2023. City Kids is hosting a Creator Con, free creator outlets, art, music, and fashion. Save the date, July 14th, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The event will take place at the 200 block of Jones Street. More information to come. The Sankofa, Makers Market, Bayview Hunters Point Outdoor Market at Indian Basin Shoreline Park, Sundays, July 9th and July 16th, 2023, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. STEM and sports summer camps will be hosted by the San Francisco Rebels basketball and Doodah activities for youth ages 7 through 13, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Early bird program, 7 a.m. Aftercare program ending at 7 p.m. STEM camp, you can also experience one-of-a-kind activities focused on weekly STEM subjects such as robotics, arts and science, culinary, coding, along with field trips to local establishments aligned with the subject for the week. At the sports camp, you can learn the fundamentals of basketball, volleyball, soccer, and 7-on-7 football with emphasis on getting better each day. Lots of skills and agility drills that helps kids improve strength and knowledge of the game. There are 2 sessions left. This week will be the last week for the first session, which will be ending on 7/14, and the next session will begin 7/17 throughout July 28th. Each session is $200, but there are scholarships available. You Speaks is hosting Brave New Voices, the world's best poets in San Francisco this summer only. Youth Speaks International Poetry Slam Festival is back for the first time since 2019. A week of live, life-changing in-person events. There will be youth writing workshops, performances by artists and activists, July 20th and ends July 22nd. 3rd Street Friday Night Market. Support your Black businesses. Shop local men, women's wear, gift items, music, and fun. Vendors wanted every Friday in July, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 1700 Yosemite, across from Cafe Envy. Police Community Partnerships is hosting Bayview National Night Out 2023. Kids Zone, food, resource fair, and more. August 1st, 5 p.m. through 7 p.m. There will be 2 locations, Bayview Opera House at 4705 3rd Street and also Joseph Lee Rec Center at 1598 Oakdale Avenue. City College of San Francisco Mission Office is offering a free 18-week certificate program with job placement services for office positions in the construction industry. Classes are August through December 2023, 1125 Valencia Street in San Francisco. Mo Magic will be hosting the backpack giveaways on August 5th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Ella Hill Hutch, 1050 McAllister Street in San Francisco. Are you looking for a summer experience full of fun, food, good times for your child at an affordable price? At $25 per child per session, the San Francisco Brown Bombers presents Summer Learning Experience for youth ages 5 through 14, starting Tuesday, June 19th throughout August 11th. Camp is held Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 509 Mendel Street, San Francisco. They will provide breakfast, lunch, snacks. Signups occur on first come, first served basis. Be Magic will also be hosting a backpack giveaway on August 12th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in now Hunters Point, 155 Jennings Street, San Francisco. Enjoy garden fresh goodness, produce, baked goods, and more at Farmers Market located at Southeast Community Center, 1550 Evans Avenue, San Francisco. Every Thursday now through November 30th from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. They accept cash, debit, and EBT. San Francisco Human Rights Commission has regular bi-monthly commission meetings on the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 5 p.m. in the San Francisco City Hall Room 416, and you can also attend via Zoom. African American Reparations Advisory Committee has monthly meetings virtually at 5:30 p.m. every second Monday. Promote your business, nonprofit, or community impact on our Hidden Gems show. Share your expertise on our Educational Thursday here at both sides of the conversation. Be a panelist on Sunday's conversation. You definitely want to tap in this month, you guys. Keep up with both sides of the conversation. Our latest shows, follow us on Facebook, IG, and TikTok. Subscribe to our newsletter. Both sides of the conversation is in search of volunteers. Give back to your community. Our coming up shows will be this Tuesday, July 13th, 7 p.m., and Educational Thursdays as well. And this week's subject will be economic development post-incarceration.
All right. Thank you, Ira, for getting all the community events out to the community. There are some resources. Both sides of the conversation will be out there for all these backpack giveaways, making sure that our community gets all of the supplies and things that they need. There's a number of resources and events that are going to be taking place to get our young people geared up and ready to go back to school. We will be having a Sunday conversation talking about some of the changes and things that's happening in the San Francisco school district and some of the districts across the state. And how our young people and families of color will be impacted. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and introduce today's panelists. We have a couple that will be coming up here a little later, and then we'll have Io go ahead and go over the intro and the stats about today's conversation. So with that being said, I'm honored to bring back my brother who's always supported us and been here, always for these relationship conversations, my guy, William Palmer. Welcome back to Both Sides of the Conversation, King. Glad to have you here today, brother.
It's good to be here always. Thank you, everyone who's part of both sides of the conversation. I'm William Palmer. I'm the executive director of Life After Next, which is a reentry housing program. And we are doing some great things. We're reshifting and we're in the works of buying a property so that we can help those that are in the institution coming back home, that are artists or entrepreneurs and want to be leaders in their community, to have a place to stay and a platform to launch themselves from. And so it's been great. So it's good to be here.
I'm glad to have you, brother. It's always good to have these great conversations, and I'm looking forward to today. It should be another great one. All right, we're gonna bring in the next king, my brother Anthony Wilson. Welcome to Both Sides of the Conversation, King. Holla at the people.
Thank you for having me. First, I want to say I like the intro with AO where y'all bring information to the community. And so me being from the DMV, I just finished doing reentry for returning citizens, and we have gotten them jobs once they reenter society. And the thing that I was telling all those involved was there's a disconnect, meaning that no one knows that there's resources available to them, and then they go into a lifestyle that is counterproductive than rehabilitation or reintegration and back into society. But I'm here to give you what I got, and hopefully it'll impact the audience.
We're looking forward to it. Before we jump into the conversation, I want to let Io go ahead and go over the pet peeves and relationships, what rattle your cage, some of the interesting stats and some of the things that people talked about. That's pet peeves in there. So go ahead, Io, and then we'll get started and jump into today's conversation.
You love your partner, but there's one thing or a couple of things that they do
Uh-oh, she's having problems. I guess I'll get to it. All right. That's a question. Your pet peeves in relationship. What love your partner, you love about your partner, but just one thing, a couple of things that they do that really gets under your skin. Some of the pet peeves that people have talked about Some are normal. Some people have to recognize yours by talking about them with your partner. But you can't avoid frustration by and resentment by writing them down and having conversations. Some of the things that came up from people that talked about relationship pet peeves was not responding to text message or calls. A lot of women had issues with that, talking about when they text message or calls, they don't get no response. Using the silent treatment when communicating, not being considerate, when they say I'm fine, but they're really not, being too close with an ex, being late or unreliable, acting differently around friends and family, not getting along, getting alone time, being on the phone too much, comparing your relationships to other, talking about flaws to other people, never apologizing, bad manners, poor hygiene, trying to change you, saying I told you so, taking you for granted, controlling behavior, acting jealous, walking away during a fight, being selfish, being messy, not listening when you talk. Some of the other things that women complain about. These are a lot of women complain about these things. Men snoring, complaining all of the time, leaving the toilet seat up, refusing to ask for help, being rude to others, letting you make all of the decisions, not helping with chores, always expecting you to pay, needing constant validation, not cleaning up after sex, arguing in public. I don't know. Sound like the women out there got a lot of issues with the brothers. So I don't know. We got a few brothers here. We got a few sisters here. I got a few people that's going to tap in a little while. They're listening now so they can get ready. I don't know. We can start the conversation and move it around. But again, this is an open conversation. Community, before you get all rattled, listen to the brothers, sisters, listen to the kings. Also, this is both sides of the conversation, okay? So whatever applies to a woman, it also applies to a man. I don't need you women out there saying, men do this too, or women do this too. We already know what applies for one applies for the other, all right? So don't waste all your energy talking about men do this too, or women do this too. We already know whatever applies, it applies to both genders and other genders. But again, this is the conversation. We're going to kick it off and get it started. It's popcorn started. Y'all heard the pet peeves, fellas. We're going to be nice and let the ladies go first. But ladies, do y'all resonate with any of these pet peeves? Or do you have some additional pet peeves that you want to throw in there when dating or in a relationship?
Well, I'll go ahead and start. Like, I definitely heard the one about the text message and phone calls thing. Me personally, I'm always really busy and I don't like to text. So I always tell whoever I'm dealing with, just call me if it's anything. Because if you text me, I'm not going to text you back for a minute. So you got to be understanding. You got to be patient. So I definitely resonate with.
Io, you want to go or you want the brothers to jump in?
Acting differently around your friends and family definitely is a pet peeve. You know, I feel when you start to date somebody, right? You ask, what's your likes, what's your dislikes, and what your interests are in the person that you're pursuing. So sometimes you get the person who's going to do everything right, right? They're going to be the perfect gentleman, the perfect lady, until they get around their people and they're in their comfort zone. That's when you start to see the true side of them and they start to reveal who they really are. Conversations are different, demeanor is different. So that is definitely a pet peeve of mine.
I also wanted to add in the hygiene. That I'm so big on that. I'm so big on hygiene. Like, I look at your teeth. Like, if the teeth are not right, I pay very close attention to that. And if I see some plaque or something on your teeth, I'm like, nah, I ain't going on no second date. It's just this a wrap. We go ahead and wrap this one up. Let me get it to go box. Yeah, don't call me. I'll call you. That's how I'm feeling on that one. I can't do it. I cannot do it. That's a deal breaker for me.
You
said what, Aya?
Dirty fingernails.
Oh yeah.
That's a telltale sign.
Anthony, look at you.
Unless it's that guy. Because here's the thing, one of my pet peeves, and particularly about the ladies, is there's a double standard that you will have for the guy that you really want, the guy that you choose. He can get away with a whole bunch of stuff that the guy who's just trying to get a shot, who may kind of have a chance, he got to jump through all the hoops before he gets considered. But that dude, Yeah, y'all will throw all them standards out the window. So not being intellectually honest is one of the pet peeves I have with a lot of ladies out here.
Mark, I disagree with that. I cannot I hygiene is a deal breaker. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care, how much money you have. I don't care if you match all the other qualifications. If your hygiene is not on point, if the teeth are not right, I can't rock with you. I don't care. I can't rock with you. That's it.
I want to
I can go
interject.
for that.
I want to interject on IO, and I apologize for pronouncing your name wrong in the beginning. So you said something that's very paramount in relationships. People present their representatives. When I used to meet women in the past, I would never ask them, "What are you looking for?" I would never tell them what I'm looking for them because I want them to walk in their truth and their authentic selves, meaning be who you are. So then I make that determination whether I want to be with you or not. Also, you have what they call red flags and deal breakers. Red flags are shown. If there's a deal breaker within one, leave it alone. Move on. See you next time, baby boy, baby girl, whatever it is. Charisma, you with the hygiene, that's definitely a plus. If your hygiene ain't right, you ain't right. Hit the road, Jack. Next.
But see, Anthony, that's something that we have to learn also throughout the dating experience. That's traditionally that word again. Okay, you get to know a person. This is what you're supposed to do. But something that I've been unlearning is not to do that, because you tell a person what you want and then they can be all these great things. So getting to know a person, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, getting to know that person for who they are, and not putting a standard out there or telling them, I don't like this, and that. Deal breakers, non-negotiables, and pet peeves are two different things to me. What a non-negotiable would be something that I'm just not going to handle. I'm not going to deal with. And you'll present that to me if you tell me, this is who I am, this is what I expect, this is how I live my day-to-day life, right? These are my morals, these are my values, this is how I present my integrity as a person. So those would be things that would be more non-negotiable. If that's who you are as a person and the content of your character, then that's fine. Pet peeves are small things like, oh my God, you left the seat down. Oh my God, you know what I mean? So these are things that you can compromise with. But then again, those non-negotiables are something that you just cannot see yourself handling at all.
Well, I'll say this real quick. I don't believe in the word compromise. That means you changing yourself for somebody else. And then when you ain't with them no more, you be like, why I do that for them? Stay who you are. That's just me. I've been like that since I was in the sandbox giving girls daisies. I'm not changing. However, when you do encounter a relationship, I call that a resume syndrome. When you apply for a job, the job asks you what requirements, they tell you what requirements are needed. You curtail your resume to meet those requirements, even though you know you can't do half of what you done put on that resume. So the thing is, you meet someone, you tell them, hey, I just want us to see if we connect, see if we have a connection there or something. And then you go out and say, what you like to do? Well, I like to go walking or whatever. Those are the things I'm talking about, to see if there's a connection so you can allow that person to be who they are. That's why I like what John said when we first started talking is about the communication and relationships. Relationships are so important in every aspect of our lives. People don't understand that. I do a lot of stuff in the DMV. And because of who I established myself as a person, it gets me and other individuals in certain places that money can't even get them in because of the relationship. So remember, relationships are very important, and your integrity speaks volumes to whoever you encounter in your life.
So I agree. Go ahead, William. I'm gonna let you go. I agree that the two is separate, but then again they intertwine because your pet peeve can turn into a non-negotiable real fast. So all these ladies talking and stuff, I'm gonna let y'all get off your chest, and I'm gonna come check y'all resume in 1 second. Go ahead, William.
So I consider myself a spiritual being trapped in this physical body. So some of the physical stuff is superficial, but it's important. I believe hygiene should just be a human character trait. It shouldn't be like if you ain't got it, something's up, right? But my biggest pet peeve is the lack of willingness to erase white supremacy out of our brains in order to have a true spiritual connection with somebody. I believe compatibility is important, and I'm just not compatible with someone whose spirit is at a low vibration. So I don't care if you're the finest sister that walked the earth or a a hippie white girl. It don't matter. Like if your vibration is low, it's just low. And I don't care if the dude that's looking for you is African, European, or Asian. You're not going to resonate with each other, and it's not going to work. And it doesn't matter. I tell people, and I tell a sister in a minute, I don't care how much money you make. I care about how kind you are to me, like how you mesh with me, because I can make my own money. Like your money is not a part of your beauty to me. Your beauty is this spiritual energy that should be so feminine that you will never see me in any other way but the the compatible partner that we was meant to by the creator. And if we're not that, then just keep it moving. And there's no hard feelings. We could be friends. We could be business partners. We could do a service work in the community. But at the end of the day, even that relationship is going to be shaky, because if you're not resonate on a high frequency and getting rid of white supremacy from every fiber of your body, then even when you work in the community, you're going to be bringing some bullshit to them. And then it's just going to be this perpetual learning cycle that's going to go on, that we always fighting. And so I tell feminists, I tell members of Black movements and organizations, if what you've been doing has been working, why we got the same effing problems still today, or even worse? So let's go back to some of our ancestors' ways that came over here before the Mayflower, that was 800 years in Southern Europe, that traveled all the way to China, Sudanese, to be the part of the Ming dynasties, starting the Ming dynasty. Like these type of civilizations don't even reflect what we are today. And I wonder why.
Oh, y'all waiting for me? I don't think I don't know. I got a lot of pet peeves. Okay, I don't even want to get started on the half, but I'm gonna say this. One of the things that drive me nuts, because I think all this is targeted to men. I'm just gonna say it's not a gender war, but since I'm a man, I'm gonna speak to the ladies, because the ladies need to hear this. One of the things that I don't like about a lot of ladies, pet peeve of mine, is always talking about what you used to do, with who, and how you used to date and all that, and trying to apply it to the current situation, right? So you get these girls, you get these women out here, right? And all they want to talk about is, I used to date basketball players. I used to date movie stars. I used to do all of this stuff that they used to. I dated lawyers. That's a pet peeve of mine. I hate that. Like, because I'm always like, what are you telling me this for? Are you saying I'm less than? Are you thinking that I'm not qualified? What is the purpose of you telling me who you used to date? So that's a pet peeve that it drives me nuts. When you talk to women, they tell you about who they used to date, because it's like this status stuff. So I'm thinking of you like you're a transactional person, right? That's just one. I got 1,000 of them, okay? I don't want to take up the whole show on all my pet peeves. I just want to throw that out there, because I think that's one fellas we resonate with when we date women. They always want to tell us their status of who they date or the realm of people that they was with. That's a pet peeve I don't like. Don't come telling me about who you used to date while you out with me, or you trying to get to know me. All right, I don't. The second thing, another pet peeve I don't like. Okay, all of these women going around talking about they God-fearing women. I want to know what that means. What is this? All of these women, I'm a God-fearing woman. So that's a pet peeve of mine. Soon as the women start talking, I'm trying to date you. I don't care about all of that. I'm a God-fearing. What does that mean to me? You trying to date me? You want to go out? So ladies, I'm asking, because today I want to know, because I see it everywhere. Okay, I'm in these digital streets. I'm not just here. Okay, I'm on Clubhouse, TikTok. I'm all over the place. And I keep hearing these women saying, I'm a God-fearing woman. I don't know if that's a plea for acceptance. I don't know. Are you trying to tell me that because you believe in God, what is this? What does this have to do with me trying to meet you? All right, I'm going to give y'all two. I got 899 more to go, but okay. I just want to throw those two out there.
I like to jab at that one.
Go ahead, Gayla. Welcome to be here. Y'all know Gayla's a disruptor, okay? She's here to disrupt today. Great sister. Go ahead, Gayla.
So what I feel when we hear a sister say that is, what she's saying is, I'm a human being and I have a desire to be with somebody. But while I'm desiring to be with somebody, I'm flawed. But at the end of the day, I am aiming to get this thing right. And for women, aiming to get it right, for some, not all. and I got a whole nother conversation on that one. I think the average woman, ultimately, even when we say we don't want it, we want to end up in matrimony. And I think because of, our upbringing, depending on if you grew up in a church and all of this religious dogma, I think it have women feeling conflicted. I'm speaking from personal experience. There's been times I've dated and my desire was like, I want this to go for forever, right? And then you sleep with somebody, you have the relationship, and get there, and then you see it's not progressing. I don't know about for other people, but I become conflicted within myself, not with the man, but because I'm going against the grain of what I desire internally. And I think as human beings, we tend to go against the grain of our own self sometimes. Not every woman, you got some women that, know who they are, know their worth, or at least we project as we do, and we really don't. And then you got some that really don't know their worth and they, playing both sides or, just trying to figure it out. But I think when you hear a woman say, I'm a God-fearing woman, meaning at the end of the day, although she's imperfect and she letting guys smash or get in relationships or however you want to word it, right? Whatever feel good, coming out the mouth and rolling in the ears. What she's saying is, at the end of the day, I'm out here trying to live as upright and right as I can to the best of my standards. Although I'm flawed and although I'm messed up, my standard is what God say, and I ain't getting it right.
I gotta cut you off there, Gabby, because that's my problem. See, these women that talk this God-fearing stuff, and then you can't say you under the realm of God, because when you're under that realm, there's a certain way you got to walk and talk. There's no in between. It's just like dudes in the street. You can't straddle the fence, right? Either when you tell me you God-fearing woman, I'm going to tell you as a man. You try to date me and tell me that, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm thinking of all these women that's in the church, because ain't no man in the church. It's very, very small amounts of men in church. I don't care. Y'all can argue with me across this country. I go around these churches, and I'm going to tell you right now, the pulpit and the whole church is filled with women. It ain't that many men up in there. So you try to tell me you a God-fearing woman. So you one of those women that standing in church with all these women hollering, shouting, and screaming. And you a God-fearing woman, but you out here dating. Then you go and meet these people who say they God-fearing women. You look at their social media. You look at how they moving and grooving and they functioning. And ain't nothing about what they doing is God-fearing. So my thing is, you using this. What is the boundary that you setting?
So I think you bringing up a good point that I think is the root of a lot of our relationship issues in the Black community, is because for many years, Black women been married to God. You look at our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, our grandpas were whoremongers. We had women that held the house down. We raised the kids. We raised the grandkids. We prayed, oh Lord, in the name of Jesus, you're going to bring them through. And I ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to keep my vow. And what you get is a pathology being set before women like myself that see that foolishness. And we repeating it. And it don't even work. So the real thing is this. I think in the Black community, and I'm just speaking for me, I can only give testament to my situation. I'm one of them ones, struggle with the daddy issues, have my, whatever out there. Some people know me, some people don't. But, I was out there. So in the midst of all of that, the root of it was I didn't value myself. And so what you're seeing is descendants of a whole bunch of women that didn't value yourself. And I'm just speaking of this in my own deliverance, because I had to go to God like, well, why I'm struggling like this with this? And I thought my grandma was a woman of God. And God had to tell me like, hey, they love me, but they God was their man. They never followed me. They never kept my standard. And so when we as women don't keep our standards, like I come in a relationship, well, I'm a woman of God and I'm trying to live right, and I lay with you and I give you the poom poom, it's a wrap. You have lost all respect and all credibility is gone. And I think as women, we have to see that. Like, and I think we have to look at this whole sex thing, our intentions, and be clear about it in the beginning. I'm sexing you, but let's be clear. I'm giving you my cootie cat because the expectations is because I'm digging you. Someday we end up in something permanent. And we not having real
That's how
conversation.
women. That's how women think.
Is that the women ROI? Is
Yeah.
that the rate of
Let's-
return?
let's
I
face
don't
it.
believe that. That's the delusion out here. This is why we have problems. But I'm gonna let you go, women. But this is what the women are dealing with. This is the delusion in our community. See, the poom poom was made to multiply. See, that's what it was made for.
That's what it was made for.
Right? So all that other stuff about I'm hoping that it's gonna get me to another level. That's women problem. Transactional on poom poom. All right, go ahead, brother Power.
And it is.
Yeah. I mean that's what I mean by vibrating on a higher frequency. One of the pet peeves within that is women really don't know how to communicate, and it's this false narrative that women are good communicators, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. They want men to read their minds. Like, how you didn't know I didn't want that, or what? Why you didn't think? Because men aren't mind readers, right? And we say what we mean, and we mean what we say. But to go back on some of the things that you said was, you have to understand, during slavery and right after slavery, Black men wasn't all that what you were saying they were. It was only after World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam that we coming back with mental and trauma that was never addressed. We never factor in the Black men who fought in every war in this country. And if we didn't, we would have lost every war that we didn't fight in, come back with no support system.
Yeah.
And then we classified all Black men that fit that description. But what we didn't have ready for them was the warmth and the love and the nurturing of a Black woman as is needed, because the process of de-womanizing you had already started with feminism and cosmopolitan and all that bullshit that came into our lives and said, we can have it all if you just get out of the home, go work a job and come back and demand all of these equalities. God never said that in no kind of scripture from Africa, Asia, all around the freaking world. There's no description of that being the description of a woman who wants a husband.
Right. Exactly.
See? So if you're God-fearing and you know about the ancestry, we have to get out of this pollution of what a man is and what a woman is and get back to what they really are. And we wouldn't have these problems. We have problems because we're human. But we wouldn't have these false problems that can go away.
And
So
I think
I gotta say this.
in the
Let me say
trauma.
this real quick. I gotta say this because this is my issue. And women, they're gonna come for me today. But this is the delusion that's in our community, right? When I talk about the delusion, the misunderstanding of women, I need women to get out of fantasy land. See, Disney messed up all of our women with these fantasy stories of what love is and all of that stuff, right? So we living in this Disney mindset with our ladies in the community. Ladies, y'all gotta understand something. Let's be real, because I see comments in there about women, sex being this to women, all this, that's BS. Okay, mandate women to have sex. Let's just get that out there. Ain't no man out here trying to talk to you and court you and do all this stuff because they want to be your friend and they go happy ever after, get on their knees and pray. No, we date to have sex. It's our nature. We are men. So women, accept that. When a man you date and he take you out to dinner and all this stuff, don't just think, oh, he's a nice guy, he just want to take me out. No, he want to have sex. The end goal. So when women talk about intentionally dating, this is why dudes get frustrated. We're not looking at all that. Oh, I want somebody that's intentionally dating. Okay, I'm intentionally dating because I'm trying to get to know you because I want to have sex. I want to make sure that I got all my spiritual bondage and all of our ties that make me want to go to that next level. All right, I'm not dating you and taking you out, spending my money on you. I want to be your friend and I want to be this perfect saint. No, I'm dating you because I want to have sex with you and I want to make sure that I have a sexual experience that gives me the energy and the things that I need on the other side of the mental and emotional, so I can say, do I keep this person with me and move on? I'm just going to keep it real. So all the ladies out there that's still in delusion thinking, oh, he's my friend, he's just taking me out. No, This is why men don't want the women that they love having these brothers, and this is my friend. Men want to have sex, ladies. Okay, that's why y'all get manipulated so easy. Go, oh, he's my brother. He's like my brother. No, he's trying to find a weak, vulnerable spot so he can get the sex that he wants from you. Because that's what men do. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Okay, go ahead, brother Mark. I'm gonna
Well, I'm glad you said that, Bishop, because as everybody knows, if you pay any attention to the social landscape of relationships right now, a lot of people would say someone like, say, Keke Palmer is a God-fearing woman. And if we take the example of how she conducts herself out in public, some might question her ability to portray a God-fearing woman and conduct herself as a woman who's in a relationship or being single, because the way you dress, the way you present yourself, again, doesn't align with the brand of somebody who would consider themselves to be spiritually disciplined. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we as men face is women who will put, and we'll just use the God-fearing banner. If you say you are God-fearing, then how is it that you're not accountable to the word of God and in submission to your man like the word of God instructs? Because they don't want to submit. They don't want to be told what to do unless they absolutely need somebody to come and save them. But as long as they got money in their pocket and they feel independent, they should be able to do what they want to do, however they feel, and nobody should be able to tell them anything. So as a man, we can't protect women that we can't control.
That's fact.
Women are binary. They'll do anything for the right man. So all this hygiene, all this stuff, for the right man, you'll do anything. You guys, women tell us that all the time. All right. For the right man, I'll submit. For the right man, I'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna be that right man. You gonna do some things you can do. Go ahead, Ayo. I see you up there.
All right, come on. The gloves is off, y'all. No. Me being one person, as we found out last show on Thursday, that's something that I had to unlearn myself with saying for the right person, actually doing a deeper look inside of my own past and trajectory through relationships. I'm the same person regardless, whether it's friendships or relationships. I've had good relationships, I've had bad relationships, but the content of my character is that of a caterer and a nurturer. So submission comes naturally. So for me to actually say, because of learned behavior, oh, for the right one, because of what I went through in bad relationships, it made me want to cut that off. It made me want to say, oh, I'm not doing all these things. I'm not giving wifey privileges to just anybody. You have to earn that. But it's in me to be that person, to be a caterer, to be a nurturer, to listen, to learn, and to want to be led. John said it before. Women want to be dominated, but it's a difference from being with a dominant and a leading man from a controlling dictator. There's a difference. You get men who want to possess you because you are a trophy. Oh, she's the pretty one. She's not accessible. Oh, everybody wants her. And when you get her and she's a great woman, you don't know how to value nor appreciate her. So you start to break her down. And that's where we become binary women, saying, oh, I gave him everything. I did everything I was supposed to. But why not me? That breaks down your self-esteem. It builds insecurities within yourself. And then that's when you start to say, oh, I'm not doing it unless they earn it. I'm not doing it unless they earn it. You put a bridge on yourself. You put that lock on your heart and who you are, and you are not being able to live in your true self. I realize who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am in friendships and relationships. I am the caterer. I am the nurturer. I am the go-to. I want you to teach me. I love learning. Teach me, guide me, make me better. If this ain't a forever thing, I want to be able to progress and take whatever I learned from this situation and apply it to the next. But I don't want it to hinder me from me not being able to be fully myself and give myself to a man wholeheartedly, genuinely, and authentically. I don't want to be damaged. I don't want to be bruised. So yeah, you get this safety net around you. That's when you're getting to know a person. And yeah, you restrict a little bit because you want to make sure that this isn't going to be that vicious cycle again. But once you have an actual conversation with somebody and intellectually get stimulated, all guards is off. Everything, hey, whatever you, all right, let's do this. That's what we doing. And you come to an understanding. Conversation and communication is key, especially having those hard conversations in the beginning. It's very important. It's very important when you're trying to build that foundation. When you have an understanding in your relationship or a friendship, getting to know a person. Hey, I'm not looking for anything. I'm going with the flow. Let's see if we connect, if our energies, everybody's big on energy right now. Everybody's big on, these words that we're learning, but it's always been that way between man and woman. Your connectivity is who you are, your soul, your ties and things. Now, when it comes to sex with women, I feel because you gain these soul ties, you having sex with men, and like someone said in the comment, when we have sex, it's the difference between men exchanging love for sex and women exchanging sex for love, right? So if I give myself to you, that's me proving to you that I love you and I'm showing you this, right? But can we be honest and say sometimes as a woman, no, I don't need all that relationship stuff. Maybe it's just a physical connection, and that's that. Maybe you cannot have an intellectual conversation with the person, but you're so physically attracted and drawn to the person, you're going to leave it at that. Let's be honest with ourselves. Yes, I believe in the Lord above. Yes, I am a spiritual woman, but I am not so much guided by what the religion says I'm supposed to do. And I'm not going to use that as my indicator on how I connect with somebody. I'm not going to limit myself to connecting with somebody because I have to have this image of who I am. Oh, I want you to think that I'm all these things. In real life, baby girl ready to bust it down. Come on now. Let's be honest about that. Let's be honest about that.
Sometimes you just need your back blown out. That's all.
I gotta say this because I don't want to miss this part because I'm getting old, y'all, and I'll be forgetting stuff. But I gotta stop you there because this is a problem that women have. I see the comment from Sabrina. She said the problem is women give sex for love. That's in y'all head. A man feels respected and loved by the respect a woman gives him. No matter about the sex you give me, you respect me. That's me saying, oh, she loves me when she respects me. So that's the problem. Women think they know men and they don't. Because you giving me some sex ain't got nothing to do with love to me. Now, if you respect me, you honor me, you obey, and all the things that I've asked as my lady, that's a different understanding. So this is why this conversation is important because women get caught into these things. It's not sex for men. For women, it is. That's love to y'all. That's not love to us. When you respect your man, that's love. All right. The other thing that I want to get on before I pass it to Anthony or Mark, because I see they trying to go there. We got to address this. The problem with women today is they're trying to hold the value. You cannot hold your value of who you are when you're in the dating realm. It's like buying a house. If you're a house owner and you say, I'm selling my house for $500,000, but everybody that's coming to look at your house to buy your house saying your house is only worth $400,000. Is it the value you think it is, or is it the value that the people is willing to pay? All right. And that's what women got to understand. You could go around and say, I'm this valuable woman. I'm pretty. I should have this. It doesn't matter. You could go get a BBL. You could go get a boob job. You could spend all this money to be a perfect woman. At the end of the day, it's all about the men out there. What are they buying? And some people will pay the high price. That's just what it is. But when you look at the larger number, the problem that women have, their value is so high that they can't sell a house. That's why they single. Okay, well, I'm going to pass it to you, Mark. I don't want to start no fireworks.
Oh, Bishop. Again, every woman ain't a 10. And this is one of those things that was a pet peeve. And we talked about being delusional. I am a firm believer in self-love. Like, yeah, you should think as highly as you possibly can about yourself, but you also have to be honest. Like you said, what is the market saying about me? And if you tell yourself you a 10, but the market tell you a 4, you're gonna have to be honest. And just because you want a certain type of guy or a certain type of person, if you can't get that, the people who you can get is not settling. I wish women would honestly stop talking about they settling for people, because you ain't getting the 6-foot baller who got $1 million and taking you on trips every weekend. There are good, solid people who are worthy to be loved and be in relationships that do not fit this idealistic, some people may call it Eurocentric, whatever you want to call that standard. Most people don't fit that. And if 80% of the women are all concentrated on 10% of the guys, yes, there's going to be a problem, because y'all gonna feel like all the guys are the same and we're not a monolith. And I wish we could break that down and start understanding Black men in particular are not all the same.
So, Mark, I gotta say this because I see Sabrina's question up there. There's two men, Sabrina, that we talking about. You got an alpha male and a beta male. That's the only difference. Because alpha males understand this. Beta males who want to be alpha males is the one that's confusing y'all women. Alpha males know. When you talk to a room of alpha males, they understand the value system. The beta males is the one who's playing with your emotion, telling you your value is this. So when y'all talk about every man ain't the different, you're right. There's two groups of men. There's alpha men and there's beta males. And there's more beta males destroying the market for alpha males. I just want to put that out there. And I got fellas here. Y'all can ask them if y'all don't agree.
I think that different types of women as well.
That's true. We established that.
Yeah. Oh,
we know everybody is different.
Queen, princess, and the others.
We know everybody's different. When we know that, Bishop, we know everybody know everybody's different. My thing is, I was listening to Io, right? And it's about teaching me. We not no music soul child. Somebody had to teach you the way. None of that. You who you are. The person has to connect with you. And then if y'all relate or y'all have similarities, compatibility, then y'all move on in that aspect of things. I believe, and it's just me. I always say it's my opinion. I believe every human being on this earth is selfish. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we get in these relationships, and things start working out the way we want it, but then that person slacks up, stop doing certain things. The first thing we say, oh, you don't do that for me anymore. You don't do this for me anymore. And then you tell your girlfriend or you tell your buddies, your mother, whoever else you got in your circle, I don't want to be with Mike anymore. I don't want to be with Tanya anymore because she's not doing it. Why? Because everything was based on a condition of what can you do for me? My thing is, I ask any woman I ever met, I say, what were you doing before you met me to make your life happy, to love yourself, to enjoy your time? Think, before I got in a relationship, I used to travel by myself. I used to go to the movies by myself. My buddies used to think I was crazy. I said, no, I'm going to enjoy me because whoever come in my life will be an addition to my love and happiness I have for myself. So I'm not dependent on anybody. That's why I don't like these stories when people say, he's my everything. I don't know what I'm going to do. My God, I can't live without him. Well, who you was living with before you met this goddamn individual? So I'm on that type with John. I'm very ruthless. John is like me. I'm very ruthless when I talk about this because we always cry about what we allowed in our lives. But I'm not going to get into all this. I love what Gayla said. She learned from her past. Sweetheart, I'm glad you did that. Continue to move on that. And whoever you got, they should be happy. Io, I heard you talking. Somebody really did a number on you. I don't know how many they have, but I'm telling you, I wrote a relationship book called Learning to Use Your Outreach Regard. I used to do relationship seminars in the DMV. So I know about those things. But I always tell people this, and I'm going to leave it like this. You only get in your life what you allow.
I say this is that. Let me say this.
Me and Mark is creating an assassin with Io. Nobody's going to be able to touch Io.
Let me say this. I want to say this to you, Anthony. I don't feel it's what someone else did to me. It's what I allowed, just like you said, not knowing boundaries nor requirements and pouring myself that way and just thinking that magically it was going to be reciprocated or not communicating, as was said earlier. I just thought that the person was going to read my mind and think that it was going to be naturally, it's going to come to me. No, I had to unlearn that. I had to realize that it was me putting these unrealistic standards up that I never even communicated. So me getting my feelings hurt or me setting these expectations to somebody that showed me several times they weren't going to meet them. But how can somebody try to meet your expectations and or requirements or respect your boundaries if you never voice them, if you yourself don't know what they are? So that was me. That was me. And at the person I am now, about to be 40, I went through some shit. Yeah, some messed up relationships. But who I am now and learning that, and even the model behavior from my parents who've been married 53 years, unlearning what I saw and what I thought that I was supposed to be, a passive, submissive, yes, doting, all of those things are what I thought I was supposed to be. But I had to unlearn that, because me being that and then just thinking somebody's going to naturally reciprocate it, that put me in the predicaments that I was in.
You know what I find interesting is that the story of Adam and Eve, Adam didn't even know that he needed a helpmate. He was that clueless, but God did, right? So the story shows that God gave him something that he needed, but even that which he needed, one of the things that she did was mislead him from his focus. So we have to keep this in mind, that the beauty and the actions of a woman not only is nourishing and giving and all of these things and bearing fruit and all these things, but the very intensity, once you find that one that just blows your mind, man, she can mislead you if you don't have management control. If you don't have the ability to manage the house and yourself and her, y'all going to be doomed. And I wanted to push back on the fact that women, something that Anthony said about women, but women is spiritually and scientifically proven that after 5 different men that they are with, they lose the ability to bond. Like, there are chemistry differences between men and women. There are mental differences, emotional differences, all these things. And if we don't know these differences, then we are unable to raise men and women, from boys to girls, into a place where they are going to be compatible with each other. We have modeled our Black homes off of white supremacist homes. That don't work for them. It sure don't work for us. It's very destructive for us. They may get away with it. Every now and then a couple may live, a Black couple may live together for 30, 40, 50 years together. But overall, our community is not raising boys and girls to be men and women that are compatible with the chemistry and the spiritual makeup that allows us to be unified. And I'm gonna end with this. I know I talked a little bit, but this is what I meant to say instead of answering those questions, right? Pharaohs used to marry many women in his kingdom. Women are jealous today. I know they can't do it, but we won't get into that subject. If you could, we have empires instead of ghettos. But pharaohs used to marry women and put them in ministry cabinets. So today, where you barely now starting to see a vice president and senators and assemblymen as women, in Africa, they were always in these places, because if the pharaoh died, their women would be queens and continue to rule the kingdom as planned. But in today's society, I got to have my own man. I can't do that. There's no sisterhood. I'm a feminist. Get your own. I'm going to be 52% of those who are single in 2025, but I don't care. I just give me my back blown out. But all of these things are happening because we just won't be humble enough to look at the pattern of empire building that our ancestors left us, and know that a marriage and a relationship is a contract. It's a business contract to secure the wealth and the power that we have. But I'll stop there.
So you have a point. I wanted to say,
go ahead.
I think that what we fail to realize with women, as it relates to women and men in our communities, as it relates to relationships, we, like you just said, that's the standard of how to create a good community, and that's the way we were before colonization, right? But what we fail to realize is that our women do not operate in that level of self-esteem and self-value and self-worth and self-love to even begin to address these issues or implement these real truths. Like John said, hey, this is the fact. We ain't looking for that. This is what we want. Women we live in delusion because trauma will tear up your brain, human beings. I need us to get that. I need us to fully understand that when you deal with trauma, and I don't know where y'all from, but I grew up in Bayview, Hunters Point, and to survive that took my brain out of me, okay? So I learned a lot of inappropriate behavior. My whole thing was fight, flight, survive. That's it. And even as I operate in relationships, like Sister Girl say, oh, Miss, what's her name? Aya? How you say her name? However. Ayo. With the whole learning curve, I spent a lifetime making the same dumb decisions, and people be like, golly, you want to be that, you want to do it. No, I didn't. What was happening to me is that my response to trauma was so impaired that I was incapable of making healthy and good decisions. And we have to recognize that a lot of our women in our community, you know why? Because to be honest, I agree with you. The whole, example of having all these several wives, I can't do a several wife right now. But once I get older, I would love for some more to come in because I'm moving on up. I need you to come take care because men lose that. Now, what God did tell me in my relationship with him, baby, you ain't ready for that now because you have not ever been loved in a way that can allow you to sit in that type of security and that type of appreciation. And so that's the real fact. And I think until we get real serious and real empathetic and real compassionate about addressing and loving these women in our community through their trauma, and vice versa, us women doing the same for them. And I think Black women have kind of done a good job at trying to hold the Black man down in spite of all our foolishness. Every time it go down, it's us that's there. Okay. But
we don't want you to hold us down, Gayla. We want you to lift us up. That's the problem. Black women hold us down.
Not okay. Well, let me say it. Let me correct that. Hold y'all up. Let me say that. But I have yet to see our community display that same empathy and compassion and understanding to the things that we dealing with as women. You got a lot of women that have sex because they want to be valued, they want to be appreciated. We deal with this put on spirit. We want to be viewed as this and we viewed as that. And deep down inside, we broken, we molested, we toe up. Our daddies done mess with us. They done screwed us. Just all kind of stuff. And it's having a domino effect. And women are having to come to this conclusion and this realization with that truth. And the reality is a lot of us ain't coming there. We're suppressing our trauma. We're avoiding the fact that, I went that in my childhood. That hurt me. It really bothered me. It messed with me. It made me feel invaluable. It made me feel low. We doing all that. We getting butt injections. We messing with this one. We all on live like, I'm a bad bee. And really, we toe down. Let's be real, ladies. We and I just, and it ain't always got to be about that. And I don't care about a man. This is what I'm speaking for Gayla Young. And I'm just speaking as a woman. Whenever you hear a woman say they don't want no relationship, she lying. She just knows she can't get one. Okay? God wired us to be that way. And so that's what it means to be a godly woman, is to fashion your life and your mindset and your consciousness to align with what he say and the way he say it go. So I think we have to be real. And, I agree with brother. He said, no, now I would love to be a 10. Appearance wise, if on a good day, maybe somebody be like, she may be a little 8. But deep down inside, I have not felt like no 8. I felt like a 1. And masking all of this crap on with makeup, nails, lashes that's slapping people in the face, all this junk that we do to mask up and cover the real issue. And I think as women, we need to be real and honest about the pain we suffered in our childhood and start healing each other, because the men may never develop that compassion for us. They may never help us through that. They may never. What?
Gayla, I want to interject on that because I like what you said. It's in my mind right now. Most of the women I talk to now are going through therapy. So I don't know if IO or Charisma have experience, but 99.9% of the women I talk to are doing therapy. But this is what I suggest also. If you find a man in your life that y'all moving towards maybe that next step, talk to him about that and see if he's willing to go to therapy with you. I'm a believer in that. Now, I used to didn't like psychiatrists. I didn't like counseling. But after doing it, I found out that you have an unobjective and unbiased individuals actually can give some opinion or some type of advice that can definitely aid and assist in that particular relationship or healing process, whichever may come first, right? But Gayla,
So Anthony, I want to say this. I agree with you. We need therapy in our community. I agree with you, but we got to make sure we got the right therapist. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these ladies, this is why you got to be careful. They go into these life coaches and they full of crap. Everybody's a life coach, but why are these women such devils? All right, and I'm gonna tell you all this. I'm gonna tell you this because I gotta say this to the ladies. Y'all gotta understand y'all power. See, the problem with the delusion of women, they don't understand where their power is. So I always ask women all the time, where's your power at? Is your power in your head or is it between your legs? I'm going to say boom, boom, keep it respectful on my thing. See, the first thing is women got to understand their power. See, all these women running around here, my power is in my head now. You just had William break down the chemical understanding of the brain of a woman. We have Mark break down the emotional. How could your power be in your brain when we know emotionally, genetic DNA? This is uncontrollable. Power is control. How could your power be here? But most women, when you ask them where they power at, they're going to say, my power is in my head. And this is why we got single women walking around here, because they think, I got a degree, I got a house, I'm in a sorority. My power is here. And this is why we got dysfunction in our community. First, we got to unlearn all this BS that's been taught to us, because we got to go back to what it really is. When we talk about energy, we talk about the different people. Where is your power at, ladies? Figure that out first. Once you get control, understanding where your power is, then you can start dealing with some of the other things that's connected to your power.
I think our power is in our truth and being real honest with ourselves. And just being real raw and uncut. I'm toe up, messed up, feel bad, or whatever that truth is, being honest, because I know a whole bunch of women with degrees and they slow. They still dating the same kind of.
I'm asking you a specific question. I want to hear about spirit, all that. I want to know where's your power at. Is it in your brain or is it in between your legs? I need you to answer that question. I don't want to hear about your spirit and your truth.
I didn't say that. I said truth. I said truth. It's in your power is in your truth, and what that means is being honest with ourselves.
Where's your truth located?
Where's your truth located at, Gayla?
In the head.
Oh,
and in your emotions. It's in all of you.
Well, no, can't trust emotions.
No, it's in the head. It's in the head.
No, we ain't trusting emotions. They feelings change.
No, it's in the head.
We gonna have a conversation online. We gonna have a conversation online.
I wanted to say this.
You see what I'm saying, Mark? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. But see, they don't want me to say nothing because
say it, John.
But I'm gonna just tell y'all, ladies, you want to change in your life? When you understand your power, things are going to get better for you. Start there.
So you tell us where our power is, Mr. Power Man.
The power is in the poom poom. You know that, Gayla.
Oh, so that's a whole nother conversation.
All of the emotions, everything that's in control that you think is in your head is all controlled there. A man, an alpha male, his power is in his brain. But the problem with most men, they operate thinking with their penis. That's why they have problems. The man power is in his head.
So let me ask you a question, John. So it's in our poom poom, right?
Yes.
And I'm asking a real question because I'm thinking about this. This making a whole bunch of sense. So a lot of us, it seems like we got dumb poom pooms.
No, they have overused poom poom. Too many roses.
That's see, and that right there.
What I just said. When the pom pom is happy, everything else is happy. When the pom pom is understood, everything else is
Let me
not.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you something about a poom poom and creating like the whole lotus flower opening up. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it. Let's call it the lotus flower. Okay, where she just open on up. So if a man come into my life, I give you an example. I was not long ago talking to somebody. We just talking, vibing, and this and that. And what I'm realizing is that more than anything, I want safety. I want a situation where I can express myself, be myself, heal, have conversations, get feedback. I want a safe environment. I want to quit being the man. Okay? That's what I want. And naturally, when a person come into your life and they see, because as a woman, y'all see us being men with our kids and all of this stuff. Y'all see it going on.
Yeah,
so
because all of these women think their power is in their head, Gayla.
I think that if a man create a safe environment where, and when I say safe, that could mean a whole bunch of different things, okay? It is natural for the poom poom to want to give it up. If a man came in my life and created,
I'm not talking about giving it up, Gayla. That's not what I'm representing.
Well, what are you talking about? Poom,
I'm talking about the power, your power. Okay, because if you say your power is your head and your poom poom is not right, everything ain't right. Because you're in line from there up. Everything goes from the bottom up, Gayla.
So you saying the poom poom and the poom poom and the body need to be aligned together is what I'm hearing you say?
Your power is in your poom poom. We have a conversation down the line. I don't want my followers to jump off, okay? But
yeah, go ahead.
Mark, go ahead. Will you want to jump in?
Well, actually, I wanted to hear what Charisma was about to jump in and say something. I wanted to hear what Miss Charisma had to say.
Hi. So yeah, I wanted to say that everybody always say, "Oh, don't judge this, don't judge that." We have to judge people because that is the way that we protect ourselves. We have to be discerning. We have to have the spirit of discernment. So I don't believe in, oh, don't judge this, don't judge that. I am judging. I'm judging. As soon as I meet somebody, I'm going to be a judge of their character, who they are as a person. I'm looking very closely at these different types of things. So I don't get the mindset now. Everybody always says, oh, don't judge, don't judge. No, we need to judge. I feel like now people feel like nobody's going to judge them. And that's why they do a lot of the crazy stuff that they do, because they feel like nobody is going to, they don't have to be accountable for anything. They could just do whatever. And then they don't have to answer to anybody. They don't feel shame for what they did when they should be ashamed. So yeah, I don't get that. I don't understand, the mindset and mentality today.
So charisma,
your discernment is powerful.
Discernment and intentions are this, intuition that women have is what's messed up with y'all. Because all these women who talk about discernment, you look at the women out here. What's going on with y'all discernment? Y'all got 5 baby daddies. Y'all got all this money. See, when they think what they had, they got all this money, all this great stuff, but they can't find a man. So the discernment is not lining up with the intuition. And I'm going to tell you, intuition is just like everything else for y'all ladies. It's binary. It's on and off. See, when y'all looking at the man phone, y'all trying to find something because you feel something, your intuition is working. But when y'all dealing with these bums out here and y'all dealing with all the stuff y'all dealing with, why your intuition ain't working? See, it's flawed. I'm just telling you, it's flawed.
If you have discernment, you won't deal with a bum. In the first place.
So why do most women do this? How many women out here have children that's married before they have the children? How many of these women out here that we talking about have successful marriages that last forever? It's not happening right now.
This is what we're talking about, though. We're talking about, though, the whole judgment thing. That's the reason why the baby mama culture exists, is because people are saying, oh, don't judge this, don't judge that. The culture didn't exist.
Poor discernment and poor intuition. That's why we have a baby mama culture. That's
because of trauma.
I think you guys are saying the same thing. We do all have discernment. Some discernment is healthy and some discernment is dis-ease. And so if you cure your discernment, you will make better decisions on who you lay with. and it all plays out. So we could end this, because when you say, like John say, man is mine, right? That's exactly what the word man comes from. The definition of mind is a root word. It's the root word of man comes from mind, and then it's right there in front of our face. What is a woman? A mind with a womb, being able to give birth to more minds. That's your power. And then it's up to you to educate. You are our first teacher. So if you educate the mind that you are birthing to be an upright character human being, then guess what? That upright character human being is going to connect with other upright character human beings who other women gave birth to. And this is why white supremacy and white feminism is destroying the Black home, to get your wound locked up until it's 35 and to pass its prime, to deliver healthy minds in the Black community. And then the Black man is on all this other shit, and his mind ain't functioning, so he can't even manage his mind or your mind. So we're all producing a lot of pollution out there. And very seldom and slowly but surely, we're trying to produce some good stuff, right? Some good mind, some educated mind. We can't even send our minds to their schools, because their schools is a pipeline to prison, drugs, and crime, and any all kind of things. So our minds haven't even put together the strategy to build the necessary institutions to build in our community. And gentrification is doing more than just taking our homes. They've taken our businesses, they've taken our economic power, our political power, all the institutions. We don't even have a hospital named after a Black person. Where? Mark Zuckerberg is the general hospital for all of our Black people to go to, right? Why don't we have a Frederick Douglass Hospital, or a Latimer, or a man who invented the heart transplant named after him? Mark Zuckerberg's a tech dude. What the fuck he know about medicine? We are the fathers of medicine. We don't even have a hospital named after our fathers who created medicine. But I'll digress and say, man is mind, woman produce more minds. We need to always focus on keeping our minds tight, keeping our minds right. And if we ain't on the same wavelength mentally, then your discernment should say, I'm going to pass on this dude. I'm going to discipline my urge to have sex with this Negro who's fine as hell, and then he's doing everything for me physically, and keep my mind focused on finding that good alpha male. He may have 6 figures or less, but I could tell he's a good alpha male with good directions and management skill set. But if you don't do that, you are always going to fall into those traps and continue to produce what we see out here that's destructing our community.
And I don't think it's ever
Williams,
going
when
to
you talk about power,
trauma.
when you look at the atoms and you look at the protons and the neutrons, to have power, there's energies that have to be connected. If our women don't understand where they power at, and they don't understand that they're multipliers, and I heard a woman in the chat say, "Oh, well, we supposed to be brainless." I thought you're supposed to be submissive and you're supposed to go under leadership. A man is supposed to develop his woman, teach her. So how are you going to be brainless if you can submit to the man? He's going to develop and he's going to teach you. You have to understand your power to even get there to the spiritual realm, to understand that part. So until we understand that, we're never going to change. This is why we have all of these successful women out here. Like you said, William, all of the Black doctors out here, all of the Black nurses, you see them all over social media. Oh, I'm a nurse. I'm this, I'm this. But we don't have one Black hospital because they think their power is here. That's the delusion. That's the confusion. And until we tap into what we're supposed to be doing, it's not about your degrees, honey. It's not about your sorority, honey. It's not about the house and the car you drive, honey. It's about understanding your power, being a multiplier, being a deliverer of life to enhance the spaces that we walk in, that we talk in. So get that right, ladies. Read that book.
What they gonna do for to help the women to get there? Because that all sound right, and I agree with the mind and the woman, and that is the mind. But again, back to the trauma and the breakdown of the brain. If you're dealing with trauma and your mind is tore up, how do we think these women are going to make different decisions?
You come to the healing circles. You come to the healing circles and you listen, you learn, and you follow instruction. It is very easy to heal.
Yeah.
We're not talking about aspirins and Prolox and all these man-made chemicals. We're talking about this is our healing right here. Like I can heal you with my bare hands. I know a doctor that touches certain muscles and release trauma out of your body. Like we don't even think on these levels, but because we're too busy talking about what we're supposed to do. You go to a healer, and there are plenty of men and women that are in our Black circles and spaces that are healing in these circles of restorative justice and practices that we say, nah, I'm gonna go get a massage by this white dude down the street. And I don't mean white dude, but institutions that do, you go in there and massage and you leave and you think you're okay. That's not healing. Healing is getting on a page. And
they got the roles now. The roles. This is why they can't feel the vibration of men. They can't get the spiritual connection. The roles. That's all you hear these women talking about. The roles, my role, my role. See, they looking for that feel good. They looking for that release. They looking for that connectivity because they're trying to find their power so they enjoy the roles.
Well, you have to communicate with her if before you even get to that point, what she likes and how she likes it and everything like that. And there won't need to be no roses as long as you communicate with her and you ask her what she likes, she asks you what you like, you won't have that problem. It's gotta be some more communication going on.
Charisma,
What I think,
Charisma, you will never have to step on a carpet. There'll be rose petals down there every night to make sure that your feet will never have to step on some plastic flooring, some ceramic shit. Yeah, you just guide right there. See, if you heal, you just guide on rose petals. You won't look to be like, give me a bouquet. You just be gliding on them, be in the bath water, all of that stuff,
So it sounds like
right.
to be some community events. I'm not out there. I wish I was, because we don't have healing circles and stuff like that out here. But both sides of the conversation to solve the problem sound like y'all need to get in the community, get these women who brains ain't working and who ain't using their power, like you say, get them on these healing tables and do some energy work on them and watch change.
But Gayla, we can't change if women are not submissive, if they're not willing to follow. See, they don't want to listen. See, when we try to talk to them and teach them, they resist because it's not tradition to them. It doesn't feel comfortable. So how can I teach you and lead you if you don't even want to listen? I try to talk to the people, but they don't want to listen. You have to first unlearn and be willing to be open. We can walk you to the promised land if you're willing to go. You got to be able to listen. This is why I tell women the delusion. See, women talk about they want a man who can lead, a man who can protect, all these things that they want, but they're not even willing to obey. To obey, you have to be able to follow. You have to be able to take instruction. These women today, these modern women, they don't want that.
I disagree. There's a lot, but I think that that don't listen. But I disagree with that, John. I think there's a lot of women that desire that, but I think our approach in the community for men is different. I think
look at the comments right there. Look at the comments. You don't have to use the word submit. See, they so worried about the words and they not understanding.
Forget the word submissive.
But this is what they hold on to, Gayla. This is what women problem is. Everything is they hold on. It's a red flag. It's this. It's submissive. I don't want to be controlled. All of these things. How do we fix it if you're not open to understanding?
The way okay, I'll give you an example for a child. I did foster care for a whole bunch of years. Kids traumatized, messed up, molested, all kind of stuff. Okay? Before I can help them heal and address their stuff or get any good behavior or a change of their path, right? I had to first nurture them and create a safe environment where they was able to receive from me. Do you understand that? I don't think women, I don't know, I can't speak for every woman, but I know a lot of women that desire to be led. They just ain't finna be led by no damn fool, okay? Women is not submitting to that, come in the house, submit to me, and this and that, and you don't show them the stability to give into. And
but
then
who keep picking fools?
That go back to the trauma, that brain. Trauma.
No, that's where the discernment comes in at.
Thank you.
I don't even think the trauma. But if you have trauma, then if you don't deal with that trauma, then it affects your discernment. So it's a connection there. It's a connection there.
And it
John, I was gonna go back to what you said, the Black doctors and the Black nurses. I thought you were gonna go there and say the Black doctors and the Black nurses they want to be with the street dudes, because I see that all the time. I see that all the time. And this is dynamic to where if a woman, she's making more money, she feels more powerful, she wants a guy that's not making as much money as her. So she feels like she is controlling them and running the situation, and she has the say, and she has, everything going on like that. I think that's where the y'all mentioned the Keke Palmer situation going on earlier. I think that's why that happened the way that it did, because he's not the breadwinner. He's not making the decisions. I mean, everybody always says, "Oh yeah, he didn't marry her. He didn't marry her." Keke Palmer was smart for not marrying him, because if they got married and then they got a divorce, he'd be walking away with half of her stuff. So she's smart.
So it is about the money. And this is I'm so glad you said that.
Transactional.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that, because here's the
honestly,
reality. Because women always talk about relationships being about love and all this. At the end of the day, we are in such an unnatural condition on how we value people in relationships that our relationships don't have purpose. What they are transactions. Everybody's trying to figure out how they can hustle themselves into the best lifestyle possible. So people are looked at as ways to improve their standard of living, not the quality of life in their relationships. And that's why, again, Keke Palmer can lay down, have a baby by a dude that she doesn't respect because he doesn't make enough money. And then when she decides she wants to go out and do whatever she wants, she doesn't have any sense of respect or honor for the relationship because he don't make enough. But when a guy who make more money like Usher is around, then she get all permissive and dance around, and all the respect and honor is shown to him. So our relationships have been contaminated by capitalism, if we're honest.
So Mark,
that's not all about capitalism.
So back to what I said, Mark. Women are binary and they're transactional. I'm just saying. It's coming back around in circles.
If we're gonna marry somebody, marriage is a business contract. Just like William said earlier, marriage is a business contract. Would you make a bad business decision? Would you voluntarily go into a marriage with someone and not get a prenup signed because they're making less than you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's about business as well. Yeah, of course you want to love somebody, you want to respect somebody, you want to be on the same page and have the same values with them. Of course you want to do that, but at the same time you have to be smart financially. It's a business decision as well. You have to.
So if it's a business decision, let's negotiate.
My question to you is this: so why do men want to get married then? Because what you're talking about is the loss for most men. Because men who have it understand that they're not getting nothing out of marriage. So why is it that women are so okay to get married, but men not?
Overall,
I'm not talking about
John is correct.
Overall, men are not walking down the street wanting to marry women, knowing that the benefits of this business contract is not going to benefit the man. I'm a businessman. I'm not signing a contract to where we're not in business no more. I'm losing half of my stuff. That's not a smart investment for me. And but for a woman, it is, because a woman knows if she divorced, 90% of the time, she's going to walk away with most of the assets. Am I right or wrong?
That's right.
Why are men wanting to don't get in a relationship to get married? So when you women come at men talking about, I want a man who wants to intentionally date. If the intention is to get to this business contract that I know I'm going to lose, why would I want to do that?
It's not all about that. See, I think you guys heard what I said and then you ran with it. It's not all about that.
That's the delusion right there.
Keke Palmer is a minority. Most men are wealthier than most women. That's a fact. And over half of the divorces are led by women, and they get all the money and the children. However, the statistics of who goes to prison, who commits suicide, who runs away, who has mental, sexual issues come from single mother households. Mm-hmm. A father is important, but yet the court will not give the children to a father. Married couples in a single father home have dramatically less negative effects on children than single mother homes. but the courts give our children to single mothers. So when we're talking about getting married, like John said, why would we? That is why the man in Keke Palmer instance, the man was the one that was supposed to pull the trigger on the marriage. The woman holds the key to the poo-poo, but the man holds the key to the marriage, the contract. He signs like, okay, let's do this. Boom. That's not only traditional, that's just fact. And so if Keke didn't get married to this dude, there was a reason. If Holly Berry can't keep a man, there's a reason. If Miss Wooty Whoop on down the street has been married 3 times, there's a reason. And we just have to be honest about that. And I'm not saying it's all women's fault. There's a lot of men who can't stay married either. And there's a lot of men who aren't married, ready to get married material. They're a bunch of beta men trying to pass off as alpha men. And so the alpha men are starting to come out to woodwork. The alpha men like us are starting to come out to woodworks and say, we need you to stop supporting non-men, non-alpha men.
For real.
And that goes into the communities that I ain't gonna name on here because I want to keep my job, right? So we need to stop supporting this frivolous crap out there, defining what an alpha man is. You could define what a beta male is, and you can have fun with that all day long. And if you want to get trapped up into that, that's your personal business. I ain't got nothing to say about that. But if you're ready to get married and start building, being healed, creating a community that is thriving and about us and about you, woman, then you need to start submitting and start understanding what an alpha man really looks like, what he's about, and fall in line with the program.
And William, we got to also
John.
We got to also realize this, because when we talk about these movie stars and all this, this is why I tell black folks, we can't get into entertainers, rich folk business. We talking about day-to-day people.
People.
Before the rich people, the day-to-day people wasn't asking for prenuptial agreements. So I see Victoria talking about before all of that. It wasn't about that. Women was trying to get money from men because they knew the court system was going to give them the favor. Okay, yes, now we have more educated women, more women who have successful business, more women making over 6 figures. So now the prenuptial thing is all a good thing to do. But at the end of the day, why? This is what I asked the ladies. See, this is why I tell y'all got to be careful what y'all asking for, because y'all talk about this intentionality. I hear all these women. It's the new thing in the dating realm. What's your intentions? What's my intention? I don't know. I don't want to give you my attention because your contract that you're trying to get to, I want a man who's intentionally thinking about dating to get to marriage. Well, I'm a businessman and I understand this contract. It's a messed up contract. So why
John, it's not a messed up contract.
It is a messed up contract.
Why.
Hold on.
No, let me explain why.
You won't know. You go get your point of contact. We'll get it wrong. A marriage contract is not beneficial to men. Okay, I'm gonna say
that's not true, John.
It
depends on what type of wife you have.
Hold on, because Mark talked about I statements. I'm gonna take I statements. Okay, for me as a man, if a woman marry me, I'm gonna lose something. She's gonna get more than I'm gonna give. So I'm speaking for me. So if I'm gonna say that a woman's gonna get more from me, and this is my intention to give her everything, it's a lot of work she got to do to get this. So yes, that woman, she gonna get on her knees publicly and ask me to marry if I'm giving all my stuff to you. You getting on your knees, because I'm not getting on my knees to give you everything. I'm giving you all my stuff, and I know it's going to you. I'm not walking into that saying, oh, yes, oh, you can have all my stuff, and I love you. See, you women got it all about y'all the prize. See, we're changing this up. See, I'm unlearning. I told y'all on Thursday. I'm unlearning everything I was taught. You women got it messed up. If you think you're going to take all my stuff and I'm going to get on my knees and publicly embarrass myself because I know them any moment because you think your power is here, that you going to walk away with all my stuff publicly and I'm just going to give it away? No, it ain't happening. Get on your knees and beg me.
John, listen. What man would not want to come home to his wife that's going to pack him a good lunch every day so he doesn't have to spend any money when he goes outside the house? She's going to take care of the children. He doesn't have to worry about that. The children be well taken care of, well-mannered, respectful. I mean, when he goes out with his woman, he's taking her to company events. The woman is representing his family the right way. Everybody's like, wow, your wife, she's so well-spoken. Look how beautiful she is. I mean, who wouldn't want that? I mean, and to have somebody that they can vent to every day about their problems, about just relieve their stress. They could come home and talk about their day to this person. Who wouldn't want that? It's a partnership. You're asking why wouldn't a man want to get married? You got to think about what type of wife that you're getting.
Charisma. Modern women nowadays, you can't tell who the wife and the hoes is. The wives out here acting like the hoes in the street. So what am I getting? You look at their social media, they doing all this twerking. All that's not a wife. I can pay for my meals to get clean.
John.
I can pay for my house to get clean. I can do all of that. It's not a benefit. So y'all women got to stop selling it. Yeah, it's great to have that, but that's not the prize. Can you respect me? Can you listen? Can you follow? That's what I need to know, because that's what I need. Other than that, I don't get nothing else. All that other stuff I can get. I can't have kids, so we're going to move the kids things out there.
Right.
But I'm just going to keep it where we at today. And modern women, y'all selling something that's a value that everybody ain't buying. I'm just telling you.
I think there were some good points made. One, marriage, I think the whole law for marriage needs to be rewritten. I'm gonna say that. Number two, I don't do white Jesus, but I am a word believer. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to scripture on y'all. When you look at whatever story, we're going to go for the Bible story, because that ain't the only story, okay? But when Eve came into manifestation, do you know that when she came in, everything was in place for her? That's an indication that God intends for a woman to walk into some substance and resources, okay? Now, at the end of the day, people wearing off of that because a lot of men ain't providing like that, can't provide for whatever reason.
But Gayla,
no, hold on, I'm not
Gayla, did Eve think her power was up in her head? And the devil tricked her. And God told her don't touch the fruit, and she did it anyway.
John, I'm not finna go on your philosophy that ain't made it in nobody's book yet, okay? I'm going by on this theology and this point I'm trying to make. When she walked into, everything was in place, okay? I knew a guy from Africa, okay? He's Muslim. His father had many wives. And I was like, what? I don't know if I could get with that. He was like, well, y'all don't know the value of it. And when he broke it down, I was like, I might could get with that. The woman, the man, had to provide for all the women the same. And in their community, their culture, whatever, when you marry, a woman, you don't just marry this woman. You have to marry her and give her enough resources or monies for her to create and generate a business. So if it don't work with y'all, she could still sustain. And we got to realize that women, it's the way God made us. We are to be kept. And I'm not saying that we women need to be gold diggers and loud, but having sex with a woman and not giving them money or helping them is called rape. I don't care what you say. Okay? And bottom line, it's rape. Now, you want to run up in here, you want to get this, I can't get a douche thing out of you or nothing, and you talking about my mind and all this, dang all of that. Laws need to be changed with marriage. Yes, they do. Because if a man, like John said, if a woman marry him, she coming into something. In a situation like that and it don't work out, a woman shouldn't be able to take on what everything he has worked for and any other man. Why should I give you all of this? You didn't have it. You didn't help me get it. But I think a man, there needs to be some contracts where when a woman come into that situation, you do help that woman and invest and help her. So when she do leave, she could leave with something.
Man of the
I agree
community.
100%.
Man of the
with
community.
you,
Man of the community. Now y'all see why the hookers is winning out here. Y'all see now. They telling you. If she thinking like this is what they think.
What we're thinking like what? How I
I
say?
said because the hookers is winning. That's what the hookers doing. They said for sex, I want my money. If you gonna say this is what it is, this is why the hookers is winning. This is why so many women are so close to the hookers on the streets. This is
Well,
why.
they could be hookers, and
Listen.
I'm sure when I say this, me, Charisma, and Aya, we ain't talking about hookers. I doubt it if any one of us on here is hookers. So hookers gonna do what
I said it's transactional. Women who are hookers are transactional.
It don't matter.
Those ladies of the night, they are walking in there transactional, Galen. So if you're going to say that, you just like the hookers. If you're going to say to have sex, I got to be taken care of. It's the same thing.
Look, call it what you want to. I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. Now, I done told you that when a woman is created, she walk into something substance. And if a man gonna be pounding in my thing and I can't call on you for nothing, I can't get nothing out of you, you don't need to be pounding in my poom-poom. You don't need to be in my mind. You don't need to be in my heart. You don't need to be nowhere. Because if I'm giving you my poom-poom and I like you and I'm into you, I'm giving you all of me. So if call it transaction, call it what you want to. I don't care. I get that title. I'll take that title. Because what I ain't going to take is being a dumb person's title and run around here giving my body and everything I am and all my love and resource and be broke down and toe up and messed up in the mind, psychologically, mentally, physically, and everything else. Okay? It is what it is. You want to be mad at with God, anybody, be mad at God for creating it in that order and take it up with him.
We losing focus. The poo-poo is not transactional. That's not what we talking about. I hope that's not what we buying. And to the sister Nicole H, we already talked about what the poo-poo is for. It's called a womb. It's called a womb man. So it's to deliver more minds. We already talked about. So that's not all we want. We want more minds coming out of the womb. All right. So when we're talking about, it's not a prenuptial. It's called a marriage contract for a reason. And yes, Gayla, I agree with you. The man is responsible for taking care of his household. That means I have a sister. They're not even Muslim. I am, but she's Christian Baptist, and her husband, since day one, has never allowed her to pay for a bill. She has not paid one red cent. They put 4 children through college. They have their own home. They have everything that you could possibly need. They've been married for 46 years, and she ain't had to pay a dime for anything. And she has a job. So,
and is she raising good, healthy children?
And she's raising, well, that's to be debatable, but
okay.
No, 3 out of 4 is pretty healthy and good. There's one that got away a little bit, but I won't say which one that is. Because they might be watching. But I love all my nephews and nieces. So God bless all y'all. Uncle William loves you very much.
All the ladies that want some money for their boo-boos, watch out. The hundreds is falling.
Don't listen to ladies. Don't let no man rape you.
I won't call it rape either, because you willingly lay down with it, and you picked a guy who just got up and left, right?
Fair exchange ain't robbery. Stop that.
There you go, right there.
We got to change the Title IX policy immediately. If there's money coming out the poo-poo, it's all right.
That's rape. Go ahead.
No, but we should really teach our children, our boys and girls, and our parents. We need parenting class that we do need to raise our boys and girls from very early age on how to discern what a good partner is and be involved in selecting that partner. So many of us have said, "Oh, I don't care what mom and dad think." Hopefully, your mom and dad is a healthy mind, body, and soul. And if they are, that matchmaking process that we had in our culture doesn't exist anymore, right? But I know it did in my house, but not to that degree. Mom, you bring somebody home, mom's like, no, I don't think so. Take her ass back over down the street, but she ain't coming up in here. And the one that she did let in the door, we knew that this one was the one. And the marriage might not last. It may last 40 years. It may last 4 years. And you should have learned something and did what you had to do and keep it moving. But like you said, it should be to where the woman, the wife of my children, is very well taken care of. My children are taken care of, even if they have to live with me to be well taken care of. That's the mindset of the man that you want to make sure that you get with.
That's right. And so what about for women who can't have kids?
Hey,
And that's why
Gayla,
they need to be in a polygamous marriage, because they bring more to a unit than just giving birth. They could be the one going to work, or they could be the one at home babysitting, or they could be the one doing whatever. Like, everybody has a role to make sure that the financial institutions that should be a part of that house is a part of that house.
William, how many wives you want? Gayla,
I
William is
just
open
two,
to having
just
multiple
two right
wives.
now, because it's hard out here to find one good one. So if I luck up and find two good ones, I would feel truly blessed and honored by Allah.
What you said, John?
Nothing.
Say it
I'm
again.
gonna pass it on to the Reverend. Reverend,
John.
the boys, Mark. I need some help here. They coming for the bishop. I got a duck and
Mark.
dive down.
No, you're right, Bishop. One of the challenges that we have with this conversation, and I think everybody kind of hit on it. We are a dysfunctional people in a dysfunctional society, trying to aspire to higher level relationship standards when we're operating on low level principles.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the issues and things that we discuss are very superficial, very temporary, and they're very base in their nature. We don't have a real purpose for relationships culturally. So this kind of haphazard, anybody can do what they want, however they feel. So it's hard for us to have something where, as a community, we can hold ourselves accountable to what a healthy relationship looks like. So now we're just drawing from all the influences, all the dysfunction, all the trauma, and all the stress and pressure of financial issues. And we're trying to build healthy relationships, and we're all kind of sick people. And I think we need to step back and give ourselves a little bit of grace, and then again bring the amnesty process. Women have some legitimate gripes about their experiences in relationships. Men have some legitimate gripes when it comes to dealing with women in relationships. But until we can stop throwing rocks at each other and really take the time to be empathetic with each side and decide to put our weapons down because we need each other, all of us are not going to have the same scenario. Again, I'm in my late 40s, approaching 50. My needs for a relationship are going to be different than somebody who's in their 20s and 30s. So my conversation and what my needs are going to be different. I can't use a small microcosm of celebrity or somebody on social media as an influencer as a standard for my individual life. But I think the corporate conversation, we can all come up with some things where everybody can agree on and say these are some basic standards of what a healthy relationship can look like as an ideal. And then everybody individually find how they can, in alignment, put a relationship together that works for them. But we're judging each other by sick standards in a sick society. And I think we all need to just give each other a little bit more grace.
And commit to healing.
Mark, is what you want is one of the things that you're looking for? Is one of those main things peace?
At this stage, peace is absolutely primary. And again, I'm in a relationship, been dating a wonderful woman for 3 years, but I've told people before, men at my stage in life who are more focused on purpose, we will actually take a less attractive woman who has better character and adds more value in peace than we will trying to chase the baddie. And I don't think a lot of women understand that while men are, again, we're very visual as far as passing the attraction test, but as we mature, there are certain qualities that become more important, but you can't just forsake everything. You can't give up on looking good for your man. You can't give up on how you interact, how you speak to your man. Because again, men, we value respect more than we do love. We need respect before we need love from our women. And with women, they don't understand that what you say to a man has much more power than a lot of the things you try to do to us.
You're absolutely right, because at the end of the day, the poo-poo can make my credit score go up, but a woman who's minding hers, that's a very attractive. My credit score is good. I'm just saying for those who had to work real hard and hit those credit cards during COVID and stuff. You know what I mean? But the poo-poo, it's only, again, there's going to be pleasure in it, but the purpose of it is another thing. And that's when we're talking about two wives or one wife or how many wives, it is producing minds to control the community so that the foreign invaders won't. The comment over there, did he say two wives? Sis, I'm talking about producing quality Black men and women into our community and pushing out them imposters. We're talking about creating more strong Black men and women so that they can be mayors, so they can be supervisors, so they can be. Do you know there's not even a Black doctor in San Francisco, Kaiser Hospital that I can go to? I had to settle for someone that was kind of dark skinned, and she treated me like crap. I'm looking for a Black doctor. I'm looking for a Black dentist. I want my money, even if it's coming from my work, to go into the pocket of a Black person. And I can't even find that in San Francisco. And you worry about whether I'm going to have two women producing doctors? You damn right. Like one of my kids, matter of fact, the first one is going to medical school, whether he or she like it or not. You know what I mean? So you don't even ask me what I'm going to do with my two wives or how that program is going. The next is going to be an attorney because I'm going to need one. By the time somebody come mess with my family, I'm going to need a good attorney. So why not my wife, right? So on and so forth. Like, I'm an activist. I'm probably going to get shot in the head when I die. Like, I plan to go out like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. That's not a fairy tale. That's not just words coming out of my mouth. That's how I wish to pass on in this life. I don't want to pass on in my sleep. I want to pass on because I fight for my community to such a degree where the white man is going to come and kill me. The system is going to kill me. The Federal Reserve is going to kill me.
After today, the bishop is not having sex anymore, okay? I'm holding my wallet, okay?
Boys,
I'm not paying for the poo-poo. I don't want to be labeled as a rapist, so I'm going to just keep my money. No more sex from the bishop, okay? That's it. With that being said, community, we are getting pressed on the time. I'm getting the text message. We got to get out of here. We almost at the end of the hour. But before we go, like every conversation we have, we want to give all of our panelists an opportunity to give some parting words to the community. This conversation has been up. It's been down. It's been funny. It's been tricky. It's been real. It's something to think about. I don't know. All I know is I'm leaving the poo-poo alone, okay? I'm not invested in nothing else. The bishop is done. Ladies, don't throw any rocks at me, okay? I don't want anything. I'm leaving y'all alone out there. But on a serious note, it's been a great conversation. I know there was some points that somebody should have grabbed something out of tonight's conversation. There's the pet peeves. We know what people don't like. Fellas, ladies, do your job. Keep your hygiene up. Stay clean. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can learn from today's show. All I know is I ain't getting married. This business contract ain't right. Until they rewrite the business contract, I don't even want to have a conversation. Ladies, don't ask me about intentions. My intentions is not to get poo-poo because I don't want to pay for it. That's the intention. All right. With that being said, Gayla, we're going to start with you and work our way around. We'll get William. We're going to get you 3 wives. Okay, ladies who understand, reach out to William. He needs 3 wives. We want to build an empire. We have a people's party that's moving. We need doctors. We need lawyers, and we need politicians. The people party is that pathway, okay? But with that being said, Gayla, go ahead and give some part words to the community before we leave today. I know you want to leave them with something.
Say it again, please. I
said leave some parting words to the community. Before we leave, we always want you to give some game. Give something back you learned today. Give something back to somebody who turned in a little late.
Okay, gotcha. So my parting words would be, ladies, let's do whatever we have to do to heal those broken little girls that make us go out and have sex and do things and get these reputations and not be our best self. Let's just heal. Let's start there so we could present better versions of ourselves to our men. Men, let's show our women a little bit more compassion, create safe places for them to heal without feeling like they scared to expose and being vulnerable. And I think if we focus on healing, then we could do the poom poom thing and it won't be feeling like rape and all this stuff. And we can start having these families like Brother Williams is talking about, where women are secure and their mind is focused on building a strong community where they have the confidence and say, look, we as a community, all 4 of us women, we about to have this one man. We're going to have these kids. We're going to be a village. We're going to raise them. But until we heal ourselves to walk in that level of security, it will never happen. So let's be committed to healing, okay?
Gayla, all I'm going to say, the police departments across the world is going to need to increase, okay, their staffing, because if the poom poom is causing race cases, it's going to be a lot of people.
Stop getting raped. Ladies, let's stop allowing ourselves to be raped, okay?
All right.
All
No
right.
rape. All right. William, good brother. 2 wives. Well, 2 childbearing wives. Where y'all at, ladies? We looking for 2 childbearing wives, my brother William. I'll at the people, William.
That's right, Gayla. We want to make sure that when we find good alpha men, that you hold them accountable and make sure they put a ring on it before you give it away.
So it won't be rape.
It won't be rape. You agree. You said I do. No, I'm just kidding. What I want to leave today is we can have a lot of pet peeves and a lot of red flags. Sometimes we're throwing the red flag up on something that we just can't wrap our minds around. We have pet peeves that when we sit down and communicate, we should be able to work that out. I've never smacked my food, but if I heard anybody smacking their food across the table from me, I'm like, look, sis, that right there is going to drive me crazy. And if you love me, don't smack your food no more. Close your mouth when you chew your food. Like, we can have this conversation and we can fix almost anything that we find as a pet peeve. And if you can't, that's not the one. That's low grade. That's a beta. You're an alpha, go get you an alpha, whether you're a man or woman. If you're a beta, you're going to have to accept. You want, like the brother said, you're going to have to compromise on a lot. Because beta men, they smack with their mouth. They walk a certain way. They drive a certain way. They roll a certain way. So let's start defining who's alpha, who's beta. Let the alpha be with the alpha, the beta be with the beta, and let's start really be firm on our Black First Unity agenda, and making sure that we are promoting our sisters. I gave the statistics of what happens with a single mother household. Men can step up without being in a romantic situation with a woman to make sure that those kids, those minds coming from that womb, is going to be our doctors, our lawyers, and our sheriffs, and whatever else we need in our community. You don't always have to be inside of her to get the results that we need for our community. So let's start changing our mind, and men, take accountability. No matter why we left, no matter why we were absent, many of us are returning back with done a tremendous amount of works on ourselves. We've been in there reading and focused on our ancestral guidance and spiritual guidance. Please give us a chance to correct our community and get it back on track to where we did more 100 years after slavery than we've done for the last 50 years. And we know what these last 50 years brought us. Clinton and Biden, crime bills, and all kind of other policies that took your men away from you. So stop voting for Joe Biden and stop voting for them old raggedy ass Democrats, and let's get to the People's Party and get Dr. Cornel West elected as the next president, the real first Black president of the United States, because Barack Obama is Kenyan and white, so he don't count. But I'll digress.
You can add the bishop onto the People Party. I will run as a Black man for the People's Party. Tell Dr. Cornel West, brother, I love you, but I will run with you. Okay, this is the only political party I will run for. All right, the Queen Charisma. We gotta have a conversation, Charisma. But go ahead, leave something for the people.
Okay, so I wanna leave with this. First of all, I would like to say I don't think marriage is transactional in that way that it's all about money. It's about love, it's about understanding, and it's about partnership. And I feel as though a woman has to offer that love, that support, that nurturing, being that person that can be a shoulder to her man when a man comes home from work and had all that stress on him. You know what I'm saying? Pack a lunch for him when he goes out of the house so he don't have to spend his own money. Things like that. I mean, it's the small things that make a huge difference in your day. Like showing a little love, where you can. It's not all about money. It's not all about that. But I know, the quality woman that I am, and I know I'm not just all about money. I know that I can love and care for somebody. So I know Mark and John, y'all try to come for me, but no, it's not all about that. It's about partnership and it's about love. So I think that's what I want to leave with at the end of the day is that, you know, it's all about showing somebody that you care for them in any way that you can, be it big or small. So all love, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time.
I promise you, charisma. We wasn't coming for you. Just a challenging conversation. We just want you to think outside the box. No smoke. We love you. Okay, promise you. No, we wasn't coming for you. All right, I promise you. I never come for anybody. I just want you to think. That's all. It's a new day. We're unlearning. We're unpacking. There's a lot of things happening today. All right, the voice, the Reverend, my brother Mark. Leave some parting words for the community, King.
Man, there's so much that I want to say, and I'll try to keep this concise.
Man,
And
give it
please,
all up to the people. Give it. I don't care. Give it all up to the people.
Sister Charisma, please believe I never come for you. I love everybody here. I just understand the fact that as Black people in our community, we need everybody. We need all hands on deck. The fact that we're at a place now with so many pressing issues against our community just for the sake of survival and being able to be here as a community, that pet peeves have become deal breakers, and our emotional uncertainty because of trauma has become the time bombs that keep driving wedges of division in our community. And I'm really, really hoping that these conversations can help us put things back in perspective, and we can find the areas where we agree on and rebuild from there. We do need to sit down and re-look at the contract of relationship and marriage, because the original purposes for it had nothing to do with the emotional romanticized versions that keep us going at each other. Men are wired differently, women are wired differently. And this new modern era where a lot of women are saying, well, if men can do it, so can we. It does not work. Women do not get the same outcomes when they do the same activities that men do. And if we keep feeding into this cycle, we are going to continue to drive our community down a path to where we're only digging ourselves deeper in a hole. So I would propose that we all take a look at a amnesty process where true accountability and healing can take place without the punishment, because we're going to have to give up the need to feel like we got to get back. And too many of our situations, we're just throwing rocks at each other because everybody's been traumatized, everybody's had something go wrong, and if we hold on to those grudges, all we're going to do is contaminate ourselves to where the point we can never recover as a community. So with that being said, just know we need each other. My dad used to say all the time, a wrongdoing woman and a weak-minded man have been the cause of trouble since the world began. So I'm going to encourage men, put these women in their place. And when I say that, understand, men, first of all, you have to have a place to put them. That means you have to have a vision, you have to have a purpose, and you have to have a provision and resources to give the woman you bring into your life something to do. She needs a place to be secure and led. But if as a man you're not building anything, you ain't going nowhere, quite honestly, you're not qualified to lead a woman. So with that being said, let's put these women in our place by giving them a place to be in.
And make them get on their knees and ask to marry you. All right, with that being said, I'm starting fireworks, y'all. The bishop just being funny. All right, last but not least, our co-host, Ms. Io, the thoughtful Io, the processor, the unlearner, the relearner, the delightful Io. Give something to the community before we leave today.
What I will leave you with today is learning how to differentiate between a pet peeve and a non-negotiable. Learning it's about balance and not having to be equal. Also, trusting and knowing your discernment means that you are a person of good judgment, but you are not judgmental. And being able to be submissive to a man that is capable of leading you and not being a slave nor a prisoner to a man that is going to lead you by dictatorship. Knowing your place and being comfortable in your peace, in your space, so that you have room to share that with somebody, that you have room to be able to find that safe space, within that partnership with your mate. Being a helpmate does not mean that you are hindered. Being a helpmate does not mean that you have to surrender your being to who this man or woman wants you to be. I am a firm believer of everything that I've been through was for a reason, and unlearning what I was used to make sure that I am the right woman for my mate.
Wow. Really put together. See, I told y'all, community, we are building assassins out here. You beta males ain't going to have a chance. Okay? Beta males, you guys are in trouble because we're building assassins over here. Y'all ain't going to be able to say hi to Io in a minute. All right, Brother Mark. With that being said, community, it's been real. I got to give the benediction before we go today because every show I have to give something. I don't know. I've been changed today. I told y'all since Thursday, I've been unlearning a lot of things. Some new things happening. New bishop. Y'all better watch out. I'm equipped myself with the tools to move and navigate. I'm open and exploring. I heard the old tales. I heard the stories. Harriet Tubman said, I could have got more slaves free if they would have been willing to listen and follow me. I'm looking for some folks who are ready to break the bondage, unlearn the traditional things that we've been told. I'm looking for some people who are trying to dismantle these lies, these fairy tales, and understand the reality of where we at. I don't know. We'll get there. But with that being said, I will give the benediction before we leave today because it's needed, all right? Because the ladies are coming from me. My text message is blowing up. I'm a male chauvinist now. I'm all of these things. I'll receive it, okay, ladies? Whatever y'all want to call me, it's okay. I'll take it. All right. But with that being said, community, today has been a great conversation. When we talk about both sides of the conversation today, you heard both sides of the conversation. We're trying to change the narrative from the voices of the people in our community. Today, we're talking about relationship, pet peeves. Yeah, it goes in different orders, and the conversation went different way. But the main thing is understanding. There are some things that is wrong in our community. There are some understandings that we've been taught that is just not working out in our community. How do we get there? How do we heal? We have to have a conversation. Any therapist you go to, they say the first thing you got to do, get it off your chest. We can't judge people. We just have to understand. There's a difference of understanding. All relationships is about finding balance. It's not 50-50. It's not 80-20. It's not 100-100. It's just finding the balance when things are unlined. These conversations bring balance back to the understanding. Tonight, I hope somebody cooks dinner and have a conversation with their mate, with their loved one. I hope a new conversation is happening. I hope there's no more confusion. I hope there's no delusion. I hope we just sit down, shoot straight spades, and just say, hey, this is where it is. This is where I'm at. How do we evolve? How do we make change? There's a possibility that we can grow a nation. We can grow a village of love, healing, support, and understanding. I don't know how we get there, but I think it starts with these conversations. Ladies got to understand the power is not in your head. Fellas, you need to understand you can't be thinking with little Johnny. There's an understanding and approach that we all have to do. Leadership is more than being a dictator. Leadership is about developing, teaching, and making sure you have the patience and you are equipped to have someone follow you. That's what it's all about. We have more conversations to go this month about relationships. We'll hear from the married couples. We'll hear from other single people. We'll hear from different perspectives, and that is okay. It's all about understanding. Mark already taught you all about communication this past Thursday, how we deal with each other, how we make the conversation in a way that comes with peace, love, empathy, all of those great things. There's a conversation tonight. I think some of the cages have been rattled. I think some of the ladies are having a little processing moment right now. I don't know. My phone will be ringing all night. The bishop love y'all. This is why we have these conversations. I understand that it is triggering. I understand it hurts sometimes. I understand things that you have maybe taught you didn't realize. It's okay. Lead in love. Lead with compassion and humility. We have an opportunity to change the narrative. It is all there. We all have to buy in. We all have to have an understanding. Do not date and talk about intentions if you don't understand what the contract is. Where are we going? Make sure you proofread and understand the blueprint that's set out. Don't allow people to push you in situations. Don't allow people to rush you into things that you don't understand. Have the conversation. It's worth it. It can save you a lot. And for the fellas, be careful. Because if you're not paying, the pool might cost you a rape case, okay? I don't know. But that being said, shout out to Gayla. Great conversation today. Great panelists. I know we got some other folks coming up. Again, great conversation. And we're going to continue to have these conversations. Yes, it's fun. We laugh. For all of the ladies out there that feel like when we're laughing and we're giving out these different body languages, it's not out of disrespect. It's out of love. We want to keep the conversation light, because if we don't laugh about it, believe me, these conversations will get even more intense. The volcano will erupt. But again, patience. We're learning that. Be open, lady. Williams talked about bare wives. It's okay, ladies. Might be not your lane. If you have a different understanding, and that's what you choose. The Palmer is here. The people party is moving. Shout out to Dr. West. The bishop will be on the list with him. I am for the people movement. I am for the real leadership of our community. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in today. It's been a great conversation. I hope this kicks off another conversation after both sides of the conversation. Maybe some of you ladies will pull your boyfriends and your potentials to the table. Maybe you'll pick up and text and respond. Yeah, it's time to have a conversation, community. With that being said, our next live show will be this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Every Tuesday, we will continue to highlight Black and brown businesses, community leaders, and organizations that are doing positive things to impact our community. Looking forward to seeing you all on Tuesday. And then this Thursday, we're going to have another educational Thursday where we will continue to intentionally educate our community, give them the information, the sauce that sometimes we just don't get. When we're talking about disrupting, my brother Young, will be back this Thursday to talk about how we move post-incarceration, how we move as a community. How do we uplift each other? That's what it's all about. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Great show today. I'm sure there's going to be fireworks. Somebody's going to throw a rock at my car, but just understand, I still love you. All the queens out there, I am celibate now. Don't ask me. I'm not having sex anymore. It's over. The bishop is done. With that being said, have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday. Be safe out there. Lead with love, peace, humility, and compassion. Be understanding. Listen before responding, ladies. You might learn something. Good night now.